I did it. I bought an ME-90, but it was a bit of a leap of faith because I needed some answers that I couldn't find online, so I made this video. These are the timestamps to those. There's a couple surprises along the way. I hope you dig this. So this thing, weirdly to me, came with AA batteries, not a power supply. I figured in today's day and age it would either come with a power supply or maybe be charged by USB or C or something, but nope, it comes with some batteries. Let's take a look at trying some power supplies, because I've read online that any 9-volt power supply could be used with the ME-90, and I just seen that in a couple forums that people had posted about it, and in at least one video review. But after looking up the power supply that Boss says to use, that has a 500 milliamp output. I usually use the MXR DC brick when I'm in my pedal board, where I had a bunch of pedals. But these are all 100 milliamp outputs, and I've had problems with pedals before where I'm sending them less power than they need. So I've got this other much less expensive one that these circuits are not isolated, but that shouldn't make a difference when I'm using a single pedal. That does have one 500 milliamp output in it. So let's try this and see how it works and behaves. And hopefully we'll get tone. I should probably power it up. Looks like we're in business. So yeah, that seems to work with a 500 milliamp output. I kind of want to test it with a 100 milliamp output, but without being able to see how that affects this thing over the long run, I don't think I would feel comfortable either doing it or recommending someone do it. So something else that's really important to me is how plug and play the unit is with Logic. I'm hoping that I'll just USB-C this in and it'll recognize it and work like my mixer, but I doubt it because it's so new. I'm betting I've got to do Tone Studio, and yeah, I don't see a way to choose this as an input. So on Boss's website I searched ME-90. I'm betting I need to get the drivers, and maybe if I get just the drivers Logic will understand it. I'm not sure. I'm gonna power down first anyway. So install the drivers. It's got to reboot the Mac, and then we'll see how it behaves at that point. All right, so we've rebooted and put in the drivers. Okay, hey, Logic wants to use this as an audio in. Keep the ME-90 as the input. That's fantastic. I didn't have to get Tone Studio. That's exactly for what I was hoping. Let's give this a spin. So I'm definitely getting signal. Let's turn it up. Nice. So that honestly means in a hotel room like this, in the back of my van like this, I can lay this kind of stuff down. That is fantastic. It's awesome. So one of the main questions I had when I got the ME-90 was, if the headphone jack is in use, that is if something's plugged into the headphone jack, does audio still go out through the mains? And the answer is yes. A lot of devices, if you plug in the headphones, it cuts the signal to the mains, but for me, I'm going to want to send these to front of house and this to my recorder. So for the longest time, I had a looper pedal on my board, and one of the interesting things about this is the delay that allows you to do tap tempo is the same channel that has the phrase loop on it. So if you're using the looper on here, you can't also use a tap tempo in the same bank. So let's take a listen to the looper. It does exactly what you would want it to do as a looper. Lets you loop your stuff. start a loop, and then layer it. Double tapping stops, holding down the button deletes the whole thing. My last looper, the Electro-Harmonix 360, had this cool feature that if you were letting the loop play and you held the button down, instead of erasing everything, it would erase just the top layer. I was hoping this had support for something like that, but I've not been able to find it. So Trails is a really cool feature that has been discussed a lot on other videos, but I never heard anybody, talk about whether or not it works with the looper. So what's really cool about this is you can loop something, So that's looped here on the second bank, and as long as the next bank I move to has a looper in it, I can now use all those tones. You can even stop it here, restart it, stop it, you can go back to the other one and bring it back with the other tones. Really cool feature, and I hadn't heard anything about it. So I've got to say, after a few days with this thing, I'm loving it. I'm much more of a pedal board guy than I am a multi-effects guy, but this thing feels really natural. I'm going to make another video about that eventually. The value here and the reliability, and honestly the sonics of it are pretty surprising. Yeah, I can't say enough about this, but I'm sure I'll have more. If I got something wrong, or if you folks figured out a trick or something, put it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you and find out more about this thing. Just getting started here. Cheers.